Alright, yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski. Just yesterday, I recorded a video called PokeMMO PvP is crazy right now, and I talked about 3 Pokemon specifically. I talked about Feraligatr, I talked about Superior, and I talked about Machamp. A lot of things have happened to really change them, and it really shook up the PokeMMO PvP meta, but a lot more things have been going on other than just that. Obviously, a ton of Pokemon got hidden abilities, a ton of Pokemon got moves. There's even more Pokemon to talk about, so this is sort of a part 2 talking about all of the recent huge changes and how they've affected the meta so far. Now, there's still a lot of time and to practice to do and research and understanding and data to gather to truly understand how much has changed and what might become of the PokeMMO tiers and meta, etc., etc. But today, I want to focus on 3 Pokemon. Espeon getting Magic Bounce, Charizard getting Solar Flare, or Solar Power, excuse me, and then Venusaur getting access to Chlorophyll. So all 3 of these Pokemon got access to their hidden abilities, and they have definitely changed things up quite a bit. I almost wanted to just do this as an Espeon plus the 3 Kanto starters as kind of the theme of this video, because Espeon's kind of the most important evolution, hidden ability in the game. We'll talk about that in a quick sec, but I don't even want to waste my time on Blastoise because I think Blastoise getting Rain Dish is pretty irrelevant for the most part. It's nice, but it's just not like, it's not as meta changing or like Pokemon totally changing as the other abilities are. It kind of just adds a little bit more sustain to a Pokemon that's can be kind of bulky and can be like that Rain Dish Pokemon. So for those who don't know, I'll cover it super quickly. Essentially, Blastoise got access to Rain Dish, and Rain Dish is an ability that's when it's raining, this Pokemon gradually regains HP. That's it. Just a little bit more sustain. If you even have Rain Dance up and go for that, it can be good. But it's tough. It's sort of works, I guess, in like a UU Rain team, which I don't know how common that is in the meta. And I don't know about that tier so much, so I'm going to go ahead and move past it. Now, let's go ahead and cover the most important mon probably of the day, in my opinion, which is Espeon. And I think this is probably, I want to say it's the most important hidden ability we've seen, but maybe, I think it's not quite. I think Superior getting Contour is slightly better, but Espeon got Magic Bounce. Magic Bounce is a really big deal. For those that don't know, Magic Bounce reflects status changing moves, but more importantly, it reflects hazards. So what this means is, if you have a Magic Bounce Pokemon out on the field and your opponent were to try to use Stealth Rocks, their Stealth Rocks would actually bounce off of your Pokemon and get put on their side of the field. So not only is it hazard prevention, not removal, that's important. If Stealth Rocks are already on the field and you bring out your Magic Bounce Pokemon, it doesn't do anything. So it's not hazard removal, it is hazard prevention alongside creating hazards from thin air, creating your own counter hazards and counter measurements. You can now put Stealth Rocks on your opponent's side of the field without actually having a Pokemon that knows Stealth Rocks on your team. That is a really big deal. That is a huge deal for aggro. Not having to even run a Stealth Rock setting Pokemon and still being able to prevent Stealth Rocks or any sort of hazards to come on your side of the field and, carry that momentum to such an extent. A huge play you'll see is, let's say, you're facing down Hippowdon, and they're obviously going to go ahead and set up Stealth Rocks. You're going to go ahead and just switch into your Espeon, and now Espeon was going to bounce those Stealth Rocks to their side of the field, set up Stealth Rocks on their side of the field. They're now forced to switch out of Hippowdon or take huge damage because Hippowdon's obviously a defensive wall, and it's going to absolutely be crippled, if not one-shot, by any sort of Espeon special attack. So I really think Espeon's in a pretty interesting spot right now. It's in UU currently. It got moved up, so it was always a really decent NU Pokemon and a really underrated NU Pokemon when it was in NU, in my opinion. But now it's now with Magic Bounce, it's a meta defining Pokemon, and I really think it will get moved up to OU in time. It's the only Magic Bounce Pokemon in all of PokeMMO. If you don't know like how actually unbelievably impactful and crucial Magic Bounce was to the traditional Pokemon meta, it truly was. Anything that deals with Stealth Rocks in any regard, especially, not just dealing with Stealth Rocks, but also putting up your own Stealth Rocks without having the need to have access to them, it's a really big deal. Some of the biggest meta-defining things in all of Pokemon were things like Volt Switch, things like U-Turn, things like Stealth Rocks, and this deals with one of them. And it's just a really, really big deal. So I think Espeon will continue to shoot up in usage. I think it'll eventually reach OU. I think it's a really powerful Pokemon. I think it's super underrated. It has a really good speed tier. You can actually go Choice Scarf on it, and if you select enough EVs, you could go something like Choice Scarf, and then I don't know the exact EV spread. It would be something like... what would be the math? What's Garchomp? Essentially, the goal would be to go Choice Scarf Espeon in Hidden Power Ice, and then still have a little bit extra EVs for bulk to be able to put into like HP or bulk or on your Espeon or special defense or whatever you want it to be. But you should be able to outspeed a Garchomp and hit him with Hidden Power Ice and one-shot him. So that is a really, Garchomp is a Stealth Rock setting Pokemon, so that's why that's relevant / so good. I think having HP Ice might end up being super relevant. You could also bring it in against... Yeah, HP Ice is just going to hit any of those Stealth Rockers, right? Gliscor, Hippowdon, but you don't really need it for Hippowdon. You could just Psychic or whatever. But it hits Gliscor for 4 times. It hits Garchomp for 4 times. And those are 2 of the main Stealth Rock setters in OU. So that's already, like, fantastic, right? Yeah, I think it's just a really, really interesting thing. Also, I assume Choice Scarf... I'm going to assume that Choice Scarf Espeon is going to be able to outspeed things like Salamence after one Dragon Dance, or things like Dragonite after a Dragon Dance. So yeah, having that HP Ice Choice Scarf Espeon, I feel like could really be a demon in OU, and I feel like it's really underused / underappreciated at the moment. I'm excited to see Espeon hopefully shoot up in usage. Now, I'm not an OU player, so maybe I'm speaking out of my depth, but just on paper, seems really powerful to me. Let's go ahead and jump into the next Pokemon I want to talk about, Venusaur. Venusaur got access to Chlorophyll, which is a really powerful ability for it. Venusaur recently-ish got moved up from NU to UU, slightly before all of these hidden abilities and everything, and then due to the hidden ability, it got raised from UU to OU. Venusaur is just a really decent Pokemon all around, which makes it surprisingly stronger than you would expect. It's just really bulky with 80, 80, 100. Defenses and HPs and everything. 80 speed stat is pretty good, and that 100 base special attack stat is surprising. I don't know why. Venusaur always feels like it does more damage than it's supposed to me. I don't know why. I feel like this Pokemon just always ends up doing a ton of damage. It has a lot of sustain. When this thing throws out the Giga Drains that it does, the really heavy Giga Drains, I think it just has a perfect amount of bulk, damage, and speed all together. It ends up being a pretty powerful Pokemon, especially with Chlorophyll. I'm really excited to see Sun stuff try to work. Is Tortle still in OU or UU? I know it's been moved back and forth. It's still in OU. So, yeah, you have the Tortle Sun setter in OU to go ahead and complement your Venusaur. And Chlorophyll, for those who don't know, let me just go ahead and double check and show you. So Chlorophyll is simply just a ability that doubles your speed of a Pokemon in Sun. So it's just going to make Venusaur that much faster and deal with pretty much its only issue. Like, if you could make one complaint about Venusaur, it would be that it's a little too slow, but it's still quite fast, right? It's just a little too slow. But if you can fix that with Sun and make it unbelievably fast, 2 times speed is a really big deal. For those who don't know, Choice Scarf and Choice Items, I believe, are a 1.5 times increase. So there's a huge difference where if you put a Choice Scarf on Venusaur, it wouldn't be nearly as fast as if it was in Sun with Chlorophyll. And that isn't taking up your item slot. It's just building your team around a weather. Really, really powerful stuff. Which is what makes, weather so extremely powerful in the first place. But yeah, Venusaurs are pretty desired right now. Pretty cool Pokemon. Having the Sludge Bomb stab as well, being dual typing, is super nice. That's something I criticized Blossom for. Blossom is a mono grass type Pokemon with Chlorophyll, I believe, and Quiver Dance, and it's so close to almost being good, but then it being solely a grass type and not having access to that poison type actually hurts it sometimes for that lack of stab Sludge Bomb. But for more coverage, just solely having grass type attacking moves really hurts a Pokemon's coverage for sure. Really only being able to stab with it. But it's really interesting. I think Venusaur is pretty good. I think it's we can actually go ahead and check the PvP statistics on it really quick. We can check the Espeon ones as well and see if it's how much Espeon play is getting in OU at the moment. Let's go ahead and scroll down. Here's Venusaur at 7%, around 7.23%, 7.25% usage right now, with a 50%-ish win rate. Let's go ahead and check Chlorophyll. So people are still, this is also a huge thing, is that not everyone has access to all of these hidden ability mons at the moment. So you're seeing 5,200 games with Overgrow Venusaur, which is pretty much, I want to say it's objectively worse. It depends. Obviously, if you're not running a Sun team, it's not really going to matter. But people are probably setting up Sun a decent amount at the moment in OU. It's pretty surprising. But yeah, 75%. Look at this. 75% of the time someone's running a Venusaur, they're running it alongside Torkoal, which just makes sense. And Darmanitan, I love Darmanitan, great Pokemon. Really cool to see that. Really cool to see Venusaur getting some OU limelight. I like Venusaur. I think it's a really cool Pokemon. I think it's super balanced. Look at Espeon here. Espeon's at a 4.3% usage in OU, 50% win rate. I think this is enough to bring it up to OU, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty powerful. That's actually really surprising. Let's go ahead and check this. So Magic Bounce 95. Wow. So that shows, like, you saw the huge difference on Venusaur. And even though it's difficult to get a hidden ability Espeon as well, you really see, like, wow. You see how much people are prioritizing Magic Bounce. And, like, if you're playing Espeon, it's literally for its Magic Bounce. Like, that's the main reason why you run Espeon, is for Magic Bounce. Choice Scarf only at a 5% usage. I'm a little surprised to see that. I think Choice Scarf could really be an important variant in this, but Leftover Sustain is nice to be able to bring it into tank hits if necessary on like wrong predictions or something for those Stealth Rocks. No real like easy pairings with this thing, which is interesting. I'll be interested to see if we get some more direct comparisons. I guess Scizor is probably the best pairing, honestly. I think they pair with each other decently, but could switch into a Dark type move or something on Scizor. Yeah, I don't know, pretty interesting stuff. The last one I want to talk about was Charizard, and Charizard's the saddest of the bunch. It's not good. It's not good. I really want it to be good. You have no idea. So Charizard got access to Solar Power, and it didn't do anything. It didn't move tiers. It's still untiered with access to its hidden ability. It's just this modest Charizard. It's sitting here for 400k. That's pretty good with, you know, decent enough stats, but missing HP and special defense. It's even EV trained. Oh man, it's really sad. Charizard is in such a sad state, and I really want it to be good. So for those who don't know, Solar Power is in Sunshine. Special attack is boosted, but HP decreases. You're taking like the Life Orb damage every turn at the end of each turn, essentially, no matter what. It's not just if you attack. So if someone like Protect stalls, you do take that chip damage every turn. But man, the most important thing to understand about Solar Power Charizard is how much damage his fire type moves do in the sun, because it's multiple factors, right? But this is also why it becomes so reliant. When a Charizard uses Flamethrower or Fire Blast or, you know, any sort of like huge fire type move attack in the sun, it's getting sun boosted, it's getting Solar Power boosted, and it's getting stab boosted. And you're most likely running something like Choice Specs or something like that to boost its damage, or Life Orb, so it's getting boosted like that. It's doing absurd damage. If you can get Charizard in the sun and throw off a fire attack and have it hit, you are doing disgusting damage. I'd love to see tests or damage calculations. You're probably doing like over 60%, maybe 60 to 80% damage to like something like Quagsire, like you might even one-shot Quagsire. It'd be really interesting to see, especially if it's like a defensive 252 defense, 252 HP Quagsire. There's a really solid chance you might just one-shot it, which is absurd. I would love to see some calculations on that, but the damage is insane. I think Charizard, if you can get it into the position, it just does disgusting, absurd, pure raw damage. The issue is getting it in that position. Setting up Sun and NU is really tough right now. Obviously, no Torkoal. My best. I'm testing right now with a Shuckle Sunsetter, just having a bulky Sunsetter to be able to set up Stealth Rocks as well, and just kind of. But I know of no success yet. I've tried Sunflora. It's just tough. I'm having a hard time getting Charizard to work in NU, and I've tested a little bit, tested a couple games, like four to 6 games, I want to say, and I've tested different Sunsetters, I've tested different teams, and it just all feels terrible. Also, the other issue is if people see you set up Sun, and you have a Charizard on your team, what they'll do is just immediately switch over to a Stealth Rock setter and just set up Stealth Rocks. And then you're fucked. You're doomed. Like, your Sun's gonna wear out, or you have to like quickly rush to try to remove those rocks to be able to bring in your Charizard. Charizard takes 50% damage when coming in on Stealth Rocks. It sucks that was his issue before Solar Power, and it's just still his issue, even more so with Solar Power. Now, hopefully, maybe something I would love to see. I don't play doubles at all, but this doubles is kind of where Charizard shines because you never see Stealth Rocks. Doubles, and then I believe in VGC nowadays, and like in traditional Pokemon, you see a decent amount of Charizard play with setting up Sun and everything with a Primal Groudon or something like that, or just Torkoal. I'm really interested to see if Charizard can make a namesake in doubles. I would love to see that. It's a really cool Pokemon. I don't like Charizard that much in its design. People love it. Maybe I'm just being too hipster. I think it's kind of the nerd neck is maybe too much for me. I don't know. But I do like the way, I love the way that Choice Specs Solar Power Charizard plays. It's a very fun competitive Pokemon to use, and it just does absurd raw damage. Here we can actually see, look at it, man. 7% usage rate, 36% win rate. I should just go ahead and I should just run through and show you guys all of the usage rates and win rates on Charizard, because people are trying to use it and failing every time. It's so bad. Charizard is the definition of, man, like, people love this Pokemon. 2% usage rate, 31% win rate. Terrible win rate. It's so sad. Let's check UU to see if we can find Charizard here. Probably not. I don't know. We'll see. 2% usage, 34% win rate. Let's check NU. Just utterly terrible. In every tier, it's been below 40% so far. Even in the lowest tier, 4.5% usage rate, 42% win rate. It's just having a terrible time. Charizard is just not working, and it sucks, and it's sad, and I feel for him, and I want him to work, but we just haven't found the meta yet. We haven't found the way. I don't know. I would love to see it happen. But anyways, that pretty much covers, I think, everything I want to talk about in this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video to some extent. If you did, make sure to like the video. It helps out a ton. If you didn't, make sure to dislike it. That's totally okay. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO content. Check out the Discord link down below if you want to join a really cool community. Just learn a lot about the game at a rapid pace. The Discord is fantastic. And then if you want to go above and beyond, if my channel has entertained you enough to warrant it, or informed you, helped you enough throughout your PokeMMO journey, becoming a YouTube member for $5 a month, drop on a Twitch Prime or a Twitch sub over on my Twitch, or hitting up my Patreon, PayPal, or Venmo, links down below, are fantastic ways to allow me to keep making content every day. So thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Hopefully you guys have some fun with Magic Bounce Espeon, Chlorophyll Venusaur, or Solar Power Charizard in comp right now. Go play some games. I'll see you guys later. Peace.